right, going over. I'm gonna have to do another vid on this, maybe even another one, because the 1970s had a lot of great vampire films, man. That was the decade. But in terms of the vampires, this book, the Frightfest guide from Fab Press, they have books on like mad scientists, but it was vampire movies. I mentioned vampire is a ubiquitous creature throughout human history. Also, in terms of the cinematic, it's a vampire films are, you get a lot of bang for the concept in terms of marketing a film, and you don't need a lot. You need what, fangs, you need blood, you need some atmosphere, but at the same time, it's a very flexible sort of genre. You can fit, especially later, you can fit the vampire into all kinds of genres and mixes and all kinds of allegories. So it's a very useful filmmaking foil. So we get on here. I can't go over everything. Some things I might pass. It doesn't mean I don't like them. It's just that I'm trying to be. I can't go through the whole damn book. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen this. This is a West German film. Interesting idea, like an alternate history where the vampires actually take over a part of Germany, or I think Europe, parts of Europe. The vampires take over. It was an anti-fascist vampire allegory, really. So when I saw the parts of it I haven't seen this film through. They just seem like aristocrats, and the human resistance to it and how bloody and nasty it is. So I really want to check it out, and it's on YouTube. So real quick, like I said, Scars of Dracula, a brutal film, underrated film. A lot of people say it looks very cheap. Scars of Dracula is very underrated, man. It's a brutal ass film. That scene in the church with the bats, man, and just in the beginning, I just want to mention that. Keep going. The Toho Vampire Trilogy, with the native Japanese vampires, akin to like the animal associated with vampires in Japan, this mythology, are cats. Okay, and usually the vampire is actually a cat demon that takes the form of a woman. But the Toho trilogy of vampire films, these are all Western vampire motifs. And actually, the vampires in this actually come from outside of Japan. They mention how the Europeans spread this to Japan. Interesting. Beautiful, beautiful, creepy, atmospheric allegories. Atmosphere. Big words. I get big words. So, and in terms of Hammer, again, lost for a vampire. In the 70s, Hammer had to compete with the Euro horror stuff. You got blood, more savage violence. You got these buxom women, and Hammer went at them even. They started making these films to match the stuff, and you get stuff like this, Twins of Evil. This is such a great movie, man. Peter Cushing plays the hero, was essentially these Calvinist witch burners. They're the good guys, right? That's what I'm saying. So, and the Maltese twins. Beautiful women. Going through, like I said, I've heard of this. I never saw it. This I've heard of as a comedy. Never saw it. Blackula, I've mentioned. He's deadlier than Dracula. That's right. Actually, very underrated. Like in terms of the horrific atmosphere, the attack scenes. Wish they made that third film where he gets that honky Dracula and whoops his ass, but that didn't happen. So, and this, I always hear about this. It's amazing. All these bloody horror films that are made when Franco was still alive. I guess Franco didn't go to the cinema, so I guess it wasn't that bad being in Spain on the Franco. Man. Grave of the Vampire. Brutal movie, man. William Smith is the hero. He's usually the bad guy in like the cowboy films, or he's Conan's dad in the Schwarzenegger film. He's actually the hero. It's the Dampier idea, where he rapes a woman and the illegitimate son grows up to try to get revenge on his dad. A brutal, violent ass movie, man. The guy who did The Sopranos actually wrote this. If you could believe the Night of the Devil. I had a copy of this. This is really creepy film. Another one where you don't know is this dude insane, or did he really experience it? One of those kind of films. Usually that the formula kind of is like, I don't like it, but man, this film, it works really well. The visuals, man, and you don't need a lot to do it. I've gone over it. Oh man, dude, the two films, the TV series is one of the best TV shows I think ever on television. The Night Stalker, Darren McGavin, what an actor, man. Like I said, I'll go over this separate, so I'm trying to go through things. Once again, Vampire Circus, another Hammer film. They used to show this on TV, very edited. I saw the uncut version on the old, rest in peace, Midnight Video, bootleg movie, mail order thing. And the uncut version of this, oh my God, dude, right, the most ferocious entry in the vampire films. This movie is just mayhem, blood, absolute violence, beyond belief, man. This is such a good movie, dude. And Paul Nash's turn as Dracula, right? This is another film. If you like hot women all turning into vampires, and if you want an actual romantic vampire who does something unbelievable at the end of this film, then this is a great movie for you. Never saw Dracula Saga, same guy that worked with Nash all the time. But a Helga Line horror film I have not seen. I love her, man. Beautiful woman. So, and always playing, like I said, always playing like a villainess or playing like a woman that goes through hell. And look at that thing, man. I think that's I forgot what that is, but I have to see this film. Ganja Hess, I mentioned this before. I want to see. I have never seen Dwayne Jones or anything else other than Night of the Living Dead. I'd like to see this film. Like I'm saying, I'm getting stuck in the 70s, the early 70s. Why? Because there's a lot of vampire films that just come out in the first half. American, European, British, Japanese. You get so many of these vampire films. And this movie, man, very, very low budget film, but very atmospheric. They showed this on TV. It was called, I think, Lady Dracula on Channel 9. They would show this film. But it actually, right, there's a Lovecraftian influence on this, but they really did a good job on this film. And it's not even funny how like those are the fangs. I have those fangs, the ones you get in the store, the dollar store. Everyone rips on this. Dude, Satanic Rites of Dracula is a film. The last one they had with Lee and Cushing. This movie's awesome, man. The apocalyptic conspiracy type thing that's in it is, I love it. The guy you think the hero's gonna be the agent dude, and he gets friggin' riddled with bullets. It's just this. They didn't release this because they said it wasn't good. Helga Line again is in this, another Spanish vampire film. I can't stop. I want to move on, but I can't because this Blood for Dracula. Fuck it, we don't care. This movie is so everything in this movie is just crazy, man. Like Joe Delasar, my man, just like that Dracula was no good for anybody. Never was. Yeah, this should have been a series. This actor, what's his name? Horst Jansen. This guy was a great actor, man. They should have made a whole series of this. They wanted to, because there was different kinds of vampires. The action, all the babes in it. Definitely an influence. Influenced by Howard, or had to be influenced by Robert E. Howard. And definitely an influence on Vampire Hunter D. I cannot believe that it's not. I've gone over this. This film, unbelievable. Influenced a lot of the Hong Kong cinema later. So it was a Hammer, Shaw Brothers co-production. So trying to get out of the 70s here, but it's getting hard. It's very hard. Yeah. I never saw the Louis Jordan version. I never saw this. I always heard about it. It's shot on, it's shot on, the video outside, inside, and the film on the outside, like all the British shows in the 70s were. I don't have to go over this. I've gone over this. I think this is Romero's masterpiece. Yeah. This version, I remember this as a kid. Late fiance, she loved this film. She rooted for Dracula all throughout, you know, and you sort of do, because even Van Helsing, everyone in this, the men are kind of simpy, you know, so you kind of like are rooting for Dracula, you know. I've gone over this. Gene Roland film, it's a great movie. I've gone over this. This film gets funnier every decade, man. Man, you ain't never have a New York like this again. This is such a funny movie, dude. I remember lines from this, but we gotta move ahead, man. This is the other disco vampire film. I want to see this. Actually, it had a double LP soundtrack. I like disco music, so I've only seen part of this. I know Isabella Gianni's in it, Koskinski's in it, Bruno Ganz, Werner Herzog. I've never seen this. This came out when I was a kid. This was too. I saw his face. I was running. I was running from the television. So I need to sit and watch this. So, this film was always on television all the time. Like I said, interesting, almost science fiction kind of spin on vampires. Right? They used to show this on TV all the time on Channel 9. I never saw it through. I was too scared. I was real little. So. I've gone over this, the Toho adaptation of the Tomb of Dracula comic from Marvel. Love that film. I love the Robotech dubbers on it. Alright, so we're getting into the 80s. I'm living in the 80s. And you're gonna kill me. I've never seen The Hunger all the way through. Some goth I but I will. Fright Night. Oh man, come on. This is one of the best movies of the 80s, dude. Everything in this. So, and it's just funny. The film amassed a major LGBT following due to the presence of multiple out actors. Yeah, well, Marcy from Married with Children was in it. No one knew she was a lesbian. Of course, McDowell, whatever. So it's funny though that with all the characters in it, this kid, the kid from Gremlins, he gets like left behind because he's like the normal person in this film. The idea of a vampire moving next door to you and you realize it and you witness something you shouldn't, and now no one can help you. And so in desperation, you go to the horror host that you watch who doesn't believe in you either. It's such a good movie, dude. The concept of it where you're like, oh man, I'm fucking dead, dude. But remember, if you have faith, you gotta have faith for that to work. So, and man, this is another bootleg film I got in the bootleg days, Mr. Vampire, bro. Now this is where you start. Right, it's like kung fu comedy, supernatural vampires, the Chinese vampires, the hopping vampires, the gong. I think the how you pronounce it, gongxi or jiangxi. I don't know. I always pronounce everything wrong in Chinese, but just a funny film that was the action and actually scary, very atmospheric. The Chinese and Japanese were always able to make their atmosphere, the atmosphere in their movies match anything in Gothic Europe, as is, normal. To do. Oh man, dude, extremely gory film, but Vampire Hunter D, like I had mentioned. I don't have to mention it. Yeah, this is lame. Jim Carrey. This is like before he was. This is like before Living Color, but it's a stupid movie. So, Vampires in Havana. I've never heard of it. It's a cartoon about capitalist pig vampires. Careful with that. So, I need to see this film. I didn't like this film, but I need to see it again because that's a frequent thing for me. Like this was huge. This was always in the video store. This was actually really good. It's like totally forgotten. The Vampire Cab Driver. Yeah. Anyway, we're in the 80s. I'm going to have to do one more vid because there's a lot of good movies in the 80s too. The special effects and the violence go up to, like I said, up to 11 in these films. So here we go. Let's one more vid.